Test, 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 test. Yes, well, we'll all find out together.
We will.
Brian Knapp in 3, 2, 1.
WPVL AM test audio.
Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test.
This is a Queen Bee Radio High School Sports presentation. Queen Bee Radio proudly brings you Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school sports. Presented by Myers Heating and Cooling and Wolf Construction. And sponsored by Claire Bank, Cuba City Family Dental, Culver's of Dubuque, Galena, and Platteville, Edward Jones representative Ben Reeves and Elena Reeves, Fuller's Milker Center, Nutrition World, the Peterson Agency, Raleigh Cheese, the Shoebox, and Tricor Insurance.
Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball, presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, AM 1590 WPVL.com, the AM 1590 WPVL Sports Radio app, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. From Jerry Pettigrew Gymnasium inside Cuba City High School, the Lancaster Flying Arrows take on the Cuba City Cubans in non-conference boys basketball on Guarding Against Cancer Night. For the Wolf Construction broadcast table, I'm Steve Prestigard, and Lancaster and Cuba City used to be rivals in 4 different conferences. The original Southwest Wisconsin Conference, the first Southwest Wisconsin Activities Athletic League, the Southern 8 Conference, and the 2-division Southwest Wisconsin Athletics League. Since Lancaster headed to the SWC and Cuba City to the Southwest Wisconsin Activities League, this has been a one-sided rivalry. Lancaster has not beaten Cuba City since December 1st of 2005, but the Flying Arrows and Cubans are probably closer tonight than they've been in a long time. The Arrows are holding their own coming into tonight at 8-8, and the Cubans, rebuilding with new coach Tyler Sheevey, come into tonight at 6-9. On the other hand, this is a big night in Cuba City because up the road in Mineral Point, the Cuban girls are playing for perhaps the title of the Southwest Wisconsin Activities League in girls basketball. That game, by the way, we have for you on Super Hits 106. And the other thing, as mentioned before, it is Guarding Against Cancer Night, and they have been doing fundraising sorts of things all day, silent auction and those sorts of things. Jeff Gard, the UW-Platteville men's basketball coach, will be speaking at the half, and there will be all other sorts of things, including Cuba City wearing special uniforms for this game today. So it is a big night in all senses. On the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Also in the SWC tonight, Richland Center is at Lodi. And also on the Queen Bee family of radio stations tonight, we have, as mentioned, Cuba City at Mineral Point on Super Hits 106, Schellsburg at Highland on 97.7 Country WGLR and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel, and Galena at River Ridge on Extreme 107.1 and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. But right now it's time for the Raleigh Cheese pregame show presented by Raleigh Cheese at the intersection of Highways 11 and 23 in the heart of Lafayette County. Don't forget the cheese. We're back in 2 minutes on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL.
Pregame 1. 97.7 Country WGLR is your home for Green Bay football. Here are Firsty Eye Clinic and Optical of Lancaster and West End Salvage of Lancaster broadcasts. Proudly presented by Les Mack Chevy, Les Mack Ford, and Les Mack Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram of Lancaster, where you always get more from less. All season long on our sister station, 97.7 Country WGLR. Pizzeria Uno, the Annex, and the Back Bar in Platteville offer a trio of options for your dining and drinking enjoyment. Come to Pizzeria Uno for Platteville's best deep dish pizza, their signature Long Island iced tea, and a variety of other menu and beverage options. Reserve Uno's loft for parties of up to 50 people. For 7 days a week carryout options, visit pizzeriauno.net. Uno's delivers Thursday, Friday, and Sunday from 4 to 8. Pizzeria Uno, the Annex, and the Back Bar in Platteville.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
My son Ben was born with congenital heart disease and spent the first 8 months of his life in the hospital. Starlight Children's Foundation has played an important role in our lives. For 5 weeks as a baby, Finn lived in a Starlight Hero wagon instead of having to sleep in a hospital bed. Starlight provides moments of joy for families like mine at a time where there's very little to be found. Learn more about how Starlight brightens the lives of sick kids by visiting starlight.org today.
Pregame 1.
Raleigh Cheese pregame show on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, Lancaster and Cuba City in non-conference boys basketball. We're joined by Lancaster coach Brian Knapp. Thanks for joining us. Well, you're a Lancaster graduate. You do not have to be told, obviously, of the import of Lancaster and Cuba City in basically anything, but obviously basketball.
No, I know the history of that. And this same court I played many years ago, but played here against early 90s, and it's always a fun environment to play at.
What is it, even though it's a non-conference rivalry, it's been that way for about 20 years, but it's still a big night tonight, isn't it?
Oh yeah, especially they're in our super sectionals, so it's for seating purposes, and our kids know that, so it is a big game in that aspect. And it's like I said, you come to Pettigrew Court, and it's always an honor to play here, and it'll be a fun game to play tonight.
Right. How do you feel like you guys are doing right now? I mean, you come in 500. I have to think this is probably the most even matchup in a long time between Lancaster and Cuba City. How do you feel like you guys are doing?
Well, 500, we're 8-8, so we're, some good basketball, and then at moments where we struggle. And that's what a 500 team would be. But we have the potential of should be better than 500, but that's what we're at right now. And, you talk about Cuba City, like I said, it's a little different Cuba City team than normal. You don't have a 6'10", 6'11", anybody in there that big to worry about. But it's still Cuba City, and it'll be a fun game, and it'd be great to come out on top of a Cuba City victory.
So what do you feel like you have to do today?
Make shots, rebound, and get some transition buckets. They'll push the ball back the floor on us. We have to get back on transition defense, and we're not the biggest of kids out there, but so we are going to have to clean up the rebounds. And when we do get the rebounds, be strong with basketball and go the other end and score.
Okay. The other thing, of course, is tonight is guarding against Cancer Night. It's something that obviously started with UW and UW-Platteville and has really ballooned to, most of the high schools in this area, it seems. You're the road team tonight, but it's still pretty exciting to be part of this, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, and they included us. They sent email, early last week about wanting to know if we wanted to get T-shirts for the night. So we got T-shirts for the kids to wear they wore them to school today, and then they'll wear them for warm-ups tonight. So, anytime you can help out with cancer or anything, that's a huge thing and an honor to be part of it.
All right. Thanks, Good luck today.
Thank you.
Brian Knapp, Lancaster coach. Back with more after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
Pregame 2.
When Mother Nature or bad luck messes up your vehicle, it doesn't have to get worse.
Tanner Sheevy in 3, 2, 1.
Assist with all of the insurance paperwork, so as long as you have the claim started, we can handle the claim after that. We offer loaner cars, and we have a lifetime warranty on all work performed. We try to make the process as painless as possible.
Abra Auto Body, a division of Anderson Weber Toyota. When you're ready.
What does the Lifetime Comfort Guarantee from Dubuque Mattress really mean? It means peace of mind. For the entire life of your Dubuque mattress, we will adjust the feel of it. If it feels a little too firm, we'll make it softer. If your mattress feels too soft, we'll make it firmer. We take the "what if I don't like it" out of mattress shopping to give you peace of mind. Dubuque Mattress, for the rest of your life.
At Dubuque Mattress Factory, you got a little snooze time.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
RPG came through the belly of the aircraft. We don't talk about the female combat wounded. These are our daughters and our sisters and our mothers. Wounded Warrior Project came into my life and taught me how to stand back up and get back in the fight. The truth is, I think we all have this strength inside of us, but until you're tested, you just don't know it's there.
See how Wounded Warrior Project empowers women veterans like Beth by visiting woundedwarriorproject.org/empowerwomenvets.
Pregame 2.
Raleigh Cheese pregame show continues on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL. Lancaster and Cuba City in non-conference boys basketball. We're joined now by Cuba City coach Tanner Sheevey. Thanks for joining us. How are things going right now? It's been kind of tough, compared to the usual Cuba City standards, but everybody's new, obviously. How do you feel like things are going?
Yeah, we're a really young team. We have like 2.5 minutes of varsity experience from last year coming back. And so we're at that stage in the year now where you could tell our guys are starting to figure out what is being asked of them, and the habits that we've tried to create at the beginning of the year are now starting to happen all the time. And so, our win on last Thursday, we were really happy with the way our guys played, and they did everything that we asked. And so, tonight will be the same kind of thing, is will they do what we asked them to do? And when they do, I think we're a pretty good team. When we struggle is when guys don't really do what we ask, and they kind of struggle with that experience of that at the varsity level.
Okay. When we were talking, I think it was before the Iowa Grant game, I think you talked about needing to know how to win, that is to finish the game. And that was an example, I guess, in that game that you didn't. Has that gotten better since then, you think?
Yeah, so Iowa Grant and Southwestern, we had the lead with about 6 to 5 minutes to go, and we ended up losing the game. Against Riverdale last Thursday, we were up 12 with 6 minutes to go, and we won by 11. And so that idea, and our guys were kind of upset because they felt like they didn't play very well the last 6 minutes. And after the game, we talked about that's exactly what we needed to do. We held the lead, and we made them come out and guard us. And our guys really learned on the, because we're learning on the fly. They learned on the fly how to win in tight games. And our average difference in points per game and margin of victory is like 3 points per game is where we're winning and losing. And so these close games that we're experiencing, I'm really happy that they're happening now and they're not happening at the end of February. So this learning opportunity right now is really pushing us to, keep going along the way.
Okay, so Lancaster, this is a rivalry that goes back close to 100 years. It's not a conference rivalry anymore, but still, it's still a big rivalry. What about the Arrows is going to be a challenge for you?
Yeah, so they're a lot like us. They're best two players that we think are two sophomores, and so they're young and they're a little bit inexperienced. And so tonight will be a battle of, what guys can show up. It's always we always joke what team is going to show up tonight, and I think for us that's how it's been. And it'll be interesting to see what they do. They have two really good sophomores that can handle the ball, shoot the three, and put the ball on the floor. And so our job is going to make sure that we keep them at bay and make them do more difficult things than we want. And to add to the rivalry, they're in our regional, and we think that us and them are going to be in that 3 through 6 area, and so this will be a great seeding game for us. And our guys have talked about that this is a seeding game for us. That if we win, we should get the higher seed than them, and that could be a home game, that could be the 3 seed. We don't really know where it is, but this is a more important game than just a non-conference game.
Okay, one more thing, and this is guarding against Cancer Night. Kind of funny, I remember when it started, a little less than a decade ago, but it's really taken off. And it seems as though the atmosphere tonight's going to be kind of even more amped than it usually is for a regular season game.
Absolutely, and I've said this, I'm coming to, this is my first year at the small school level here in Southwest Wisconsin, and I think that everybody does a really good job of making these games bigger than than just a basketball game. And tonight is one of those examples that, the kids are into it, the people are into it, the community is into it, the support that we get, and to have Guardians Cancer Night is just an added bonus to this excitement and making it feel like a big time game. And so our guys are ready to go. They've been ready to go since Thursday. They said we want to play again, and so now's our opportunity.
All right, thanks like a lot tonight.
Thank you very much.
Tanner Sheevy, the Cuba City coach, will be back with Lancaster and Cuba City after these messages on AM 1590 WPVL.
Pre-game 3.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Elena had another asthma attack. She's really sad to miss school again.
Asthma can be triggered by allergens from common pests.
Just can't shake this fever.
Mosquito bites can cause West Nile and Zika virus infections.
Sorry, boss. I'm going to be out of work for a while.
The CDC estimates that more than 300,000 Lyme disease cases spread by ticks occur in the U.S. each year. Don't let pests force you to take a sick day. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
Pre-game 3.
Our Russell Offices injury report brought to you by Russell Offices. If you have been injured, contact Russell Offices. Their experienced team of personal injury lawyers will fight for your rights and help you get the compensation you deserve. Visit RussellLawWI.com. And everybody is ready to go tonight. Taylor Williams, a little bit of a quad injury, but he is starting tonight, so he's ready to go. And the colors of the game, which are a little different than usual, presented by Cuba City Family Dental, Keeler Family Dental, and coming soon, Darlington Family Dental. 3 convenient locations to serve your dental needs. And Cuba City wearing white jerseys, black numbers, but pink trim instead of the usual gold trim. And Lancaster dark blue, dark royal blue, really, and gold for the Flying Arrows on Guarding Against Cancer Night. And now, from Cuba City, our national anthem. Grant Regional Health Center, People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Time for the starting lineups presented by Fuller's Milker Center. See Fuller's Complete Hygiene line and options for your brand new dairy setup or existing parlor remodel. Fuller's in Lancaster and Richland Center and at Fuller'sMilkerCenter.com. Lancaster 8-8, 2-4 in the Southwest Wisconsin Conference. They will start. Zach Hermson, 6'2 sophomore, 10.1 points, 6.4 rebounds a game. Tyler Timmerman, 5'10 junior, 5.5 points, 1.7 boards a game. Michael Murphy, 6' junior, 9.7 points, 3.4 rebounds a game. Taylor Williams, 6'1 sophomore, 12.1 points, 5.1 rebounds a game. And Connor Raisbeck, 6'2 senior, 6 points, 7.1 rebounds per ball game. And now Cuba City, which is 6-9 and 4-5 in the SWAL, and they will start with different numbers than usual. Henry Cruiser, 6'2 junior, 14 points, 6.4 rebounds a game. Tyson Richard, 6'2 junior, 11.6 points, 2.6 boards a game. Gavin Vossen, 6' junior, 12.8 points, 7.1 rebounds a game. Miles Hinderman, 6'1 junior, 9.2 points, 2.6 rebounds a game. And Andy Miller, 6'1 senior, 4.8 points, 3 rebounds per game. Tanner Sheeby, graduate of Slinger, Madison College, and Wisconsin Lutheran. First season here after 4 seasons at Reedsburg. And Brian Knapp, the Lancaster graduate, 7 seasons with the Flying Arrows. And if you're watching on YouTube, Lancaster moves left to right. And if you're listening on the radio, they'll be headed toward the Wolf Construction broadcast table. And the opening tip won by the Arrows to begin high school basketball on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Passing to the lane, intended for Raisbeck, take it away. Coming up with it was Cruiser, and now here is Miles Hinderman. Usually wears 4, but wearing 10 tonight. And a move in by Cruiser, and his shot from the side doesn't go. Battle for the rebound underneath, back out to Cruiser. And here is Richard for 3, right wing, doesn't go. And back comes Lancaster on the rebound. Timmerman at the right wing, drives to the baseline, puts it up and gets it. Tyler Timmerman, 2-0 Lancaster. And we're 45 seconds in, and then taking it immediately up the floor and in is Gavin Vossen, and you can tell without seeing his number where he is, bright pink shoes tonight. Here's the right wing 3, meanwhile, that doesn't go for Hermson. And the long rebound grabbed by Vossen. And Vossen brings it up. And here's a pass to the corner. And then driving and put up and in, Hinderman. And it is 4-2. Cuba City in front, and we're a minute 15 into the first half. Pass inside to Raisbeck. Turnaround shot is a miss, but the rebound was deflected right to Raisbeck, who was under the basket, and so a reset for the Arrows. And here is Williams at the right wing, fakes the 3. And now the left wing 3 goes up, bullseye for Timmerman. And Timmerman with a 3, and it's 5-4 Lancaster, 16-15 remaining in the first half. Here's Richard at the left wing. Actually, all the way out near the second half of Cubans in the logo. And the right wing 3, bullseye for Hinderman. And Miles Hinderman gives Cuba City the lead back, 7-5, 2 minutes into the first half. And then a tip pass, and loose picked up, and we'll have the game's first foul as Michael Murphy with the basketball got fouled. We're brought to you by Claire Bank with their 8 locations in southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say we can do that, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. First foul of the ball game is on Andy Miller for Cuba City. Now, it's interesting that these uniforms are actually more legible, Cuba City's, with the black numbers instead of the gold numbers they usually have. But at any rate, Hinderman steals it, takes it all the way in for 2. And it is 9-5 Cuba City, 15:35 remaining in the first half. Off the steal. Now Hermson at the right wing, or to the left wing, and Timmerman. And then picked up at the left wing by Murphy, goes to the left elbow. Timmerman at the right wing has to lob it into the corner for Williams to get it. Now a pass into the lane, laid up and in for Connor Raisbeck. His first points of the night, 9-7. Cuba City in front, 15:08 remaining first half. Hinderman at half court, rotates to the right side. Faking the shot is Vossen, drives the baseline, lays it up, and we have our very first Midwest One Bank shot of the night. You'll always score more with Simply Better Banking, Midwest One Bank member FDIC. 11-7 Cuba City, 14:48 left in the first half. Timmerman fakes the three. Into the corner. The three is short. And for Williams, and a foul on the rebound. And that's going to be on Cuba City. With 14:40 left in the first half. Anderson, Weber, Troy, and Dubuque powering our audio stream. Anderson, Weber, Troy, and when you are ready. The foul on Henry Cruiser, second on the Cubans in the first half. And nearly stolen from Williams. Coming over to get it is Murphy. And now Murphy to the right wing. Williams looking, then passes to the corner, and Murphy picks it up. Over at the left wing now, driving in, but stripped of the ball was Hermson, and back the other way come the Cubans. And a pass to Hinderman underneath. He got stripped of the ball, but Vossen comes up with it. And then Cruiser, quick pass, and a left corner three for Hinderman doesn't go. Cubans get the rebound, though. Hinderman at the left wing at a reset. And back out to Richard. Hinderman at the left wing, passes into Cruiser. Backing in, and the one-hander rolls off the rim. And the rebound grabbed by Williams, and off he goes all the way in, and he will head to the foul line with 13:48 left of the first half. Community First Bank, for you in the communities where you live, work, and play. Experience for yourself the difference at Community First Bank, cfbank.com, member FDIC. First foul on Hinderman, third on the Cubans. Taylor Williams at the foul line, 62% coming into tonight. Holds the ball with his left hand, then shoots right, and first one bounces in. 11-8. Myers Heating and Cooling, servicing Southwest Wisconsin since 1999. Myers Heating and Cooling, where they say, don't worry, we got this. And all I can say about the future forecast is that you're not going to hear the furnace very much. Second free throw, if it's accurate. Second free throw is no good. 1 of 2 as Cruiser got the rebound, and Vossen brings it up. 13:40 left in the first half. Cruiser over to Vossen at the left wing. Pass into the corner for Hinderman. Hinderman looking inside and then goes up top to Richard. And between the circles now, Richard rotates to the left wing. Dribbles with one hand and then the other. Now Vossen at the right wing. He looks, passes to the corner and Hinderman, and behind a screen for three. Bullseye for Hinderman. Hinderman with 8, and it's 14-8 Cuba City, 13-10 remaining in the first half. Lob to Murphy, back to Hermson, over to Williams at the left wing, back to Hermson, who dropped it, then picked it back up. Now Murphy in the corner, tried to get around Vossen, and he did get it over, although it wasn't easy, getting over to Hermson. And Hermson then back to Murphy. And out the left wing is pass to the corner and now the three from the corner for Williams doesn't go. Ball tipped up in the air, and the rebound shot is good for Zach Hermson, his first points of the game, but it's 14-10 Cuba City, 12.5 minutes left in the first half. And Richard driving from the right wing into the corner, Vossen for three, short. And the rebound rolls out of bounds, almost ended up in the Commons. And some subs coming in for the Cubans. Trevor Venata, 5'10 sophomore, into the ball game, and Lancaster with subs as well. As now beating the pressure, and the ball brought up to over the right wing now to pass into the lane, backing in. Raisback will head to the foul line, or no, called for traveling. So no basket. Dane Kaufman, 5'11 sophomore, averaging 7 points a game off the bench, is in for the Arrows. 12:06 remaining, first half, 14-10 Cuba City. At the deep left wing, it's Richard. And then at the right wing, and that's going to be an offensive foul called on Cuba City. It is an offensive foul, and the foul is on Trevor Venata. His first. Cuba City has all 4 fouls in this first half. 11:50 left in the first half. 4-point Cuban lead, though. And the pass to the corner for Kaufman. And then back out. And out driving is Williams, and on the glass puts it up and in, and it's 14-12. Arrows within 2, 11:30 remaining in the first half. Here is a pass picked up by Vossen, who lays it up and in. That wasn't, he had to go get the pass and then laid it up on the baseline and in. It's 16-12 Cubans, 11:15 left first half. Murphy at the left wing. And Murphy goes to Williams right at the point. Williams at the right wing, Williams to the foul line, and the jumper is good, the high arc jumper, and it's 16-14. And Williams with 5 points, 10:50 left first half. Richard at the right wing, over to the left wing, and Trevor Vidata. Now Hinderman, now to Cruiser, who backs in and then gets around a defender, lays it up but misses, then tipped up in the air for Vossen. And he makes it 18-14. Cuba City with 10.5 minutes left in the first half. Murphy over to Williams, directing traffic from there. Now at the left wing, the drive in, the jump stop for Murphy, and he takes the shot, hits the floor. Or check that. That is Lance Ryder, 5'11 senior, whose dad was, well, he still is, Jamie Ryder, who was a member of the 1988 Lancaster team, the best maybe ever. Foul, by the way, on Richard, his first free throw, no good for Ryder, shooting 62% on the season. That Lancaster team, 23-1. They won all their regular season games and 3 regional games, including 3 wins over Cuba City. And the second free throw is no good. And so neither goes in, so it's 18-14. Unfortunately for Lancaster, they were kind of the walking wounded when they got to UW-Platteville for the sectional semifinal and ran into Monona Grove, who's kind of comparable to, well, Southwestern in being in a bigger conference, but not in the postseason. And MG ended Lancaster's season. Meanwhile, underneath, a layup and a basket, good, and a foul for Vossen with 9:55 left in the first half. And Ryder picks up Lancaster's first foul, and Vossen will try to complete the three-point play, 57% from the line this season, and it went in and out. But then the rebound grab by Hinderman, he misses. Popcorn for the rebound, traveling call. And back to the Arrows with 9:49 left in the first half. Bryan's Auto Body and Paint Specialist in Lancaster. The pros at Bryan's get the job done right. For unexpected dings or major repair projects, Bryan's Auto Body and Paint in Lancaster. Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington, and Hermson's Ace Hardware at the bottom of Maine in Platteville. See Hermson's for your next project. Hermson's Ace Hardware, Bloomington, and Platteville. Ball tipped out near half court, but the Arrows keep it. And now driving in and getting his shot block was Hermson, speaking of him. But the Arrows get it back. Hermson on the baseline. Back out. And the three doesn't go. And the rebound grab, that was by Dane Kaufman. 5'11 sophomore. And Vossen on the rebound. 9:14 left in the first half. 20-14 Cuba City. And the corner three. Bullseye for Hudson Keeler, 6-foot freshman, and he has just exceeded his average. And a timeout for Lancaster. Ball game's first with 9:01 left in the first half. 23-14 Cuba City. Back after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
In game 1.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace.
So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for a supportive culture.
As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can be a source of support.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others that none of us are alone.
And that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
In game 1.
Prairie Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL. Tim Slack Auction and Realty also bringing you tonight's game. Whether buying or selling, call Tim, Kathy, Chase, and their staff today. Tim Slack Auction and Realty, Lancaster, and Fenimore. First time out call by the Arrows. And this is Kaufman at the left wing. Murphy up top. Back to Kaufman in the corner. He drives the baseline and then passes left wing, and laying it up and in is Tyler Timmerman. And Timmerman has exceeded his average. He's got 7 points, and it's 23-16. In the corner is Veneta, and he'll put up a right wing three, doesn't get it, and skying for the rebound, and then bringing the ball up the floor. And driving all the way in is Williams for 2. He did it all on that possession. 23-18 with 8:14 left in the first half. Cubans ball and lead. Hinderman at the right wing. Along the arc, and then passes to Richard. Richard kept his number for this over at the left wing. And then pass to the corner, and Veneta. Veneta getting pestered by the guy guarding him, and now into the corner. And a right wing pass up top, and into the corner. And then Veneta to Hinderman up top. And now over at the right wing, driving in is Keeler, and then back out. And Richard at the right wing. He looks inside. Cubans were looking to up the tempo, or at least that's what Brian Knapp thought was going to happen, but that's not what's happening on this possession at the moment. Here's Hinderman with it. Over to Keeler. Keeler up top over the left wing and then the corner. And the drive into the lane, one-handed up and good for Hinderman. 7 minutes left in the first half, and it's 25-18 Cuba City. Their largest lead, 9 in the game. Now it's 7. And here's Hermsen, right wing. And then passes behind him, and Murphy in the corner, back out to the wing. And the top of the silo three for Timmerman doesn't go. Battle for the rebound, and it ends up in Veneta's hands. And he brings it up over to Hinderman at the left wing, into the corner, and the three for Keeler, in and out. Rebounded, good. And the rebound by Andy Miller, and it's 27-18. Cubans by 9, a tie for their largest lead with 6:18 left of the first half. Here's Hermsen, hands it off to Murphy. And then Murphy lost the handle, but went back to get it. Gets it again from Williams in the corner. The three doesn't go. Tipped up in the air, and the rebound grabbed by Keeler. He will bring it up with 6 minutes left in the first half. And a left wing three for Hinderman does not go. Rebound grabbed by Murphy, who brings it up the floor in a hurry. And then the right wing three for Timmerman. That does not go, but Murphy there for the rebound, and the Midwest One bank shot. And it's 27-20. You'll always score more with Simply Better Making, Midwest One Bank, member FDIC. And now Cuba City wants a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here with 5:41 left in the first half. H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical, serving you in Fenimore, Lancaster, and Boscobel. Always on call, always the right call. H&M Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical, serving Southwest Wisconsin 24/7 since 1958. Mountain City Bank's total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop in at Mountain City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. Learn more at mountaincitybank.com. Grant Regional Health Center's ortho team, Dr. Brad Binsfeld and Nate Stocco, PAC, provide exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Grant Regional Health Center, experience the difference. And Russell Offices is here to assist you as your local legal representation. Call for a consultation to discuss personal injury, estate planning, family law, criminal defense, probate administration, and more. Proudly serving Southern Wisconsin, Russell Law Offices. We're also brought to you by Bush Insurance, a proud partner of Pekin Insurance Company, and Bytech Resource Management of Greener Way, Bytech Resource Management of Monroe. 5:34 left first half, 27-20. Each team now has called a timeout. Cubans with the ball in the lead. And the left wing three, Keeler, rims out. Offensive rebound by Vossen, goes to the corner. And now Richard at the right wing. He lobs it to the left wing and Keeler. Keeler gets it to Vossen at the right wing. And then back to Keeler. Almost threw it over him. Keeler may have grown a couple inches there. Keeler gets it back now at the left wing after the pass in the corner. And then the three from the corner looked like it might have been deflected or kind of a weird angle. That was Richard. Back come the arrows. And here's Murphy, driving pass, and then gets it back in the corner. He goes to the right side of the lane and then passes underneath. Backing in, raised back, and now the fall away. Too hard. Ball tipped out and grabbed and back the other way goes Cruiser. And then the pass to the corner. And the three from the corner rims out. Raised back rebounds. 4:35 left in the first half. And brought up by Hermsen, who goes to the left wing. Murphy from the left wing to the center. And now driving is Hermsen, the corner jumper. That rims out. Rebound by put up and good for Raisbeck. Raisbeck on the rebound. He's got 4 according to the scoreboard, and it's 27-22. Cuba City with 4:08 left in the first half. Boston, deep right wing, over to the left wing. And then his pass intercepted, and back the other way. Timmerman takes it all the way in, misses the shot, but the rebound, that doesn't go. And then tipped out to the left wing, and Murphy up top. He goes into the lane, lays it up, doesn't get it, gets his own rebound. Battle for the rebound now. They'll picked up, and Raisbeck will head to the foul line. And that foul in all of that on Keeler, he has first, and the other 24 Raisbeck coming in shooting 41% from the line will shoot 2 and misses the first. The Queen Bee Radio Sports SoundCloud page. Listen back to recordings of previous sportscasts anytime and on demand. SoundCloud.com/Queen Bee Radio Sports. Donnie's Tire and Auto in Dickeyville, call the only hooker in town for 24-hour towing service, 568-3014. 568-3014 is your home for excellent car care, too. Donnie's Tire and Auto in Dickeyville. Second free throw good, 27-23. Arrows within 4 with 3:37 left in the first half, and the ball tipped into the, almost made it into the Commons through the open door, but ball be inbounded just inside the door by Miller. And the inbounds pass to the left wing, and Venata with it. Goes to the corner, and Hinderman over the right wing, Vossen. Pass into the corner, and then back to Vossen at the right wing. He goes to the left wing, and Richard. Richard fakes, now passes inside. Hinderman back out. Venata drives the baseline, and then fires it to the right wing. Vossen for 3, bullseye! Gavin Vossen, he's got 13, and it's 30-23 Cubans with 3:05 left in the first half. And then the left-handed 3, bullseye for Lance Ryder. And Ryder makes it 30-26. Dad Jamie is quite happy with that for obvious reasons. 2:52 left in the first half. Venata over to the left wing, and Richard fakes a pass to the corner, and then quickly underneath the Vossen, and he lays it up and in. Boys, Vossen having a half, 15 points, already exceeding his average for the season for a game. 32-26, quick pass to the corner, and Ryder to the right side of the lane. Can't find anybody to pass to. Behind him picked up. And over at the left wing, the 3 doesn't go for Hermsen, and the rebound ends up in Hinderman's hands. And Hinderman passes to the corner, and Vossen for 3 doesn't get it. Offensive rebound, though. Now Vossen left wing for 3. He misses, and the rebound is grabbed by Murphy. Quickly back the other way. And out the left wing, Murphy behind a screen for 3. That doesn't go. And grabbing the rebound, Cruiser with a minute 58 left in the first half. 32-26 Cuba City, and now walked up by Richard. Over at the right wing, over to the left wing. And I see Casey from the Tri-County Presses here. Here's a shot underneath, laid up and in. And the basket for Venata, I believe that was, makes it 34-26. I got distracted. 1:26 left of the first half. Driving into the lane, and then Kaufman passes out to Murphy up top. 1:18 left first half. Drive inside, Raisbeck puts it up, misses. And the rebound grabbed by Vossen with a minute 11 left in the first half. Vossen to the corner, and the 3 doesn't go for Venata. Foul with a minute 5 left in the first half. Guys Truck and Tractor for heavy-duty towing and recovery. Reliable 24-hour roadside service and long-distance transports. Call on Guys Truck and Tractor. Visit them in Keeler and at guystruck.com. Carry seamless gutters and overhead doors. Belmont Prairie to Sheena at carriesguttersanddoors.com. Sloan Implement, your official John Deere dealer in Bloomington, Cuba City, Montford, and at sloans.com. And Bouse Electric, call Brad Adrian and Josh Busher, Bouse Electric, Lancaster, and Fenimore. The foul is on Cruiser, his second. That's 7 on Cuba City, so a 1-and-1. And the first free throw missed. Offensive rebound off the miss, and then the shot blocked out of there. And the Cubans come up with it with 57 seconds left in the first half. And the Cubans holding an 8-point lead, 34-26. And they will, well, it looks like they're going to hold on to it as Vossen shovels to the left wing. And Vanetta. And now Vanetta to the right wing, back to Vossen, deep right wing. Vossen drives to the baseline, puts it up, and gets called for the charge with 36.1 seconds left in the first half. And that's Vossen's first foul and 8 on Cuba City. Lancaster with just 1 foul in the first half. And correction, that is the second foul on Cruiser. Bob Hunhausen, your Platteville Edward Jones representative, salutes our athletes on their hard work. Bob Hunhausen, Edward Jones Investments, off business 151 inside drive in Platteville. 27 seconds left first half. Murphy fakes a 3, passes inside. Backing in is Rayback. Power move to the basket, but doesn't get it. And the rebound is grabbed by Miller. 15 seconds left in the first half. And now the Cubans will certainly wait for the last shot. Banana, the behind the back dribble, and then passes to the right wing. And Richard, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. And Richard looks, now shoots the 3, in and out, and that's the first half. And at the half, which is brought to you by WCC Brands Customer Apparel, Keeler and Lancaster, and People's State Bank. For personal home, business, and ag loans, visit one of their convenient area locations or visit peoplesfinancial.com, member FDIC. Cuba City leads Lancaster 34-26. More from Cuba City after these messages on AM 1590 WPVL.
In Game 2.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly Clarkson. Every American dreams of creating a better life for his or her family, but in some communities, those dreams face difficult challenges. When we come together to help those in need get the same opportunities as everyone else, we truly are making our country a better place to live for all of us. So look for volunteer opportunities in your community to help others achieve the American dream, all right? This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
In Game 2.
Grand Regional Health Center People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio WPV, AM 1590 WPVL. 34-26. Cuba City leads Lancaster F. Let's see if we can pick up now UW Platteville coach Jeff Gard.
To GAC, which Guarding Against Cancer started about 8 years ago after our dad had passed away. It was an opportunity for our family to kind of come together and get a platform to support those that are going through cancer. Understand that every dollar raised with Guarding Against Cancer stays in the state of Wisconsin. So the state of Wisconsin will be known someday for finding the cure for cancer. At this point right now, yes, we can call it that one. Since 2016, when we started GAC, we have now raised almost $8 million to go towards cancer research and to go to the Cardinal Center as well. It's ironic when I was told that obviously the game tonight is going to be against Cuba City versus Lancaster. Obviously GAC came about after our dad lost his battle with cancer. Our dad spent 40 years working for one company in the city of Lancaster. So Lancaster, for you to be here tonight, obviously is a little something special for our family as well. So we thank you it doesn't matter if you're wearing yellow and black, blue and gold, red and white, orange and blue, it does not matter. Tonight you're all on one team and you're fighting against one opponent, and that's cancer. So understand that all the dollars raised here, when I get done talking, the students are going to go through the stands for the Miracle Minute. I've been told at the end of the conclusion of the halftime, okay, is when the bidding is going to finish outside as well. So make sure if you have not been out to bid, slide out there and see some of the items that are out there as well. But again, from our family to all of those that are fighting cancer, have lost somebody to cancer, and are going through it, you know you got our support. We appreciate everything you do. Enjoy the rest of the night. Best of luck to the two teams as well. And guys, if you want to hit the stands right now, go ahead. Thanks again.
That was UW-Platteville men's basketball coach Jeff Gard, one of the two creators, of course, of Guarding Against Cancer. 34-26. Cuba City leads Lancaster at the half. And by the way, the Queen Bee Radio High School Sports Roundup is our weekly high school sports show covering everything in our area's high school sports scene, including highlights, recaps, previews, interviews, and more. New episodes every Thursday on the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel and SoundCloud channel. 34-26. Cuba City leads Lancaster at the halfback with more after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
In Game 3.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN is a nonprofit that has helped me literally change the lives of people in my community through the donated dental services program. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just
You'll be on
one
next.
of the
You have done
many
this radio
patients
thing
in need
before,
each year.
right?
If you're a dentist or know a dentist, please share this information. Like
I know.
They can make a real difference in someone's life.
Because it looks like a
DLN
silo.
makes it easy.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more. That's
good to see you.
willyouseeone.org.
How's your season coming?
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer,
Seems like
and
it.
those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst Dick Vitale.
Who do you play Wednesday?
At home versus Eau Claire.
Oh, okay. That will be in Illinois.
Defeating cancer will take
Galena
all of
girls.
us.
Oh, that's right.
At the V
Yeah,
Foundation,
they're
V is for victory.
they
over
are something
cancer.
else.
V is for victory over
Yeah, they really are.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Join our team in the
All right,
fight
hurry up.
against
Come on.
cancer at V.org.
In Game 3.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. Cuba City leads Lancaster at the half, 34-26. We're very happy to be joined by UW-Platteville men's basketball coach Jeff Gard, one of the creators of Guarding Against Cancer. Thanks for joining us. I have to believe you got to be really happy with how this thing has taken off in the 9 years or so that this has been going on.
Well, it couldn't be more pleased, and I think the biggest thing is that we talk about this kind of follow Dad's vision.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I stated in the speech as well, Dad spent 40 years working at a company that now is Computer Financial, but by the time Dad finished working for that company, it changed names 3 times. And actually went back to the original name of it as well. So from PCA to Badgerland Farm Credit.
Yeah.
It just constantly changed names. But Dad's whole vision and growing up in Southwest Wisconsin, he was always about thinking globally but working locally. And what better way for GAC to operate that same vision of, hey, we want to find a cure for a disease that is a worldwide disease, but we're going to find it right here in our own backyard in Madison as well. So the opportunity to have all the funds for GAC go directly to the Carbone, it's going to find the cure for it here in Madison. And then obviously there's some extensions off of that with the local cancer coalitions as well that we work directly with as well, from the Grant County Cancer Coalition, Iowa County Cancer Coalition, and then Lafayette Relay for Life as well.
Yeah, it's tremendous how it's really taken off. I did years ago, like 15 years ago, I did hockey, college hockey for a year, and the mother of the coach was a breast cancer survivor, so we did that sort of thing. So that was like 15 years ago, but to the scope, how things have just grown in terms of the research and getting, everybody involved with these things. And there are even some schools, we were in East Dubuque last week, they don't do a cancer thing specifically, but they've got their Warrior Strong thing 2 years ago.
Correct.
They did it for a graduate of East Dubuque who had cancer, who was being treated for cancer. So,
well, it is, and I think obviously a while ago, 15 years ago, like you say, everybody knew about cancer, but it wasn't kind of in the front, and now it's just kind of taken off. And I can remember the year that Dad was diagnosed, we were at our Coaches versus Cancer, which is a nationwide organization. But I remember going at that event that we had in Madison that year, and the speaker saying, stand if you've been personally touched by cancer. And Greg and I are kind of sitting by each other, and neither one of us stood up. Ironically, about a month later, 2 months later, here we get punched in the face with it. We go through it, and I think it's an opportunity to take the stage that you're on to try to help others, and that's what Dad was about. And since that time, our mom has gone through breast cancer, survivor. We're glad to say
that's great.
She's back, and she's running around at gyms all over now, chasing Greg and I's teams, as well as my brother Gary's kids as well. But again, I mean, it's these stages that you're on to be able to help out. I know, obviously tonight, like I said, Cuba Cities was one of the ones 5 years ago that started this. Now the state of Wisconsin has really stepped up at the high school level to have these type of events across the state, and then the money going back to GAC. Next Wednesday, just to put a plug in for us, next Wednesday, February 7th, we're at home versus Oshkosh, and it's our second Yarding Against Cancer night that we're going to have. We had one last week. We raised about $2,300. Again, that money is going to go to GAC, but also I put it back to the cancer coalitions in Grant County, Iowa County, and Lafayette as well, so it stays close to home. We'll have another night like that next Wednesday as well, with plans to do the same thing. So those that are maybe not able to make it tonight, listening to the game next Wednesday night, come on out for a pretty good college basketball game as well at 7 o'clock.
Cool.
On Bull Ryan Court.
And by the way, we're on YouTube too, so
there you go.
You're worldwide now. So speaking of that, how is your team doing at this point? It seems like you're winning much more often than losing.
We've been fortunate to be in the left-hand column quite a bit this year. We got 3 losses on the season. 2 of the losses to two teams that are ranked nationally in the top 25. And obviously Keene State, a team out of New York early in the year, and then we lost to Trine, who's I think right now it's the top 10 team in the country. We just took our first conference loss of the year last Wednesday. Got a beat on a buzzer beater to a good Stevens Point team. But sitting pretty good right now in the conference where we're at. But know that we just hit. Saturday was the second half of the conference play as well. So we just got a big win at La Crosse, who was a team that was 2 games behind us, and now we've extended that lead a little bit. But some big games to come up down the stretch.
All right, here's the inside joke. I'll take a Subway club and then pasta with the marinara sauce after.
Exactly, right? Yeah, you've been with us too long that obviously those road trips with Subway pregame meals and postgame meals and some pizza as well. So
and seeing college-age demographic movies also. But
it's
that was a blast. It really was.
Now having 2 younger kids as well, that one of them likes to travel with us a little bit, I have to tell our managers, let's make sure they're age-appropriate movies that we have on the bus. Otherwise, I tell them, here's the headphones, here's your iPad, watch it. Don't pick your head up.
In other words, the Wolf of Wall Street will not be on.
That one doesn't usually make the trip anymore. I kind of nixed that one as well. So
all right, well, it's great to see you, and again, great to see all of this.
Yes, exactly.
Regarding cancer,
it's so appreciative. I mean, just the state of Wisconsin in general. That's who we are, Midwest ties, and obviously, that opportunity to help those out that are going through a little bit of a fight and try to make some things a little bit easier for them down the road.
All right, great to see you
Appreciate
again.
It. Thanks.
Jeff Gart, the UW-Platteville men's basketball coach, 34-26. Cuba City leads Lancaster at the half. We'll be back with more after this on AM 1590 WPBL.
In Game 4.
Hello, my name is Andrea Delzell.
You'd be like the
and
world's
I've been
fastest
using a wheelchair
halftime.
since I was 5 years old. If I had one message for the general public, it would be relax. Some folks get really flustered around disabled people, so they just pretend we're not there. I've actually had waiters talk to my companion and completely ignore me. People with disabilities just want the same respect and consideration as everyone else.
This is a message from United Spinal Association. Download our disability etiquette booklet at unitedspinal.org.
Hi, Vicki. How's your knee doing?
It feels better, Doctor. Those painkillers worked great. I was hoping to get some more.
We're being very careful with prescription painkillers. Let's continue with therapy and off-the-shelf anti-inflammatories for now.
Prescription painkillers are America's newest epidemic, causing abuse and addiction for millions. The smaller the dose prescribed and taken, the better. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons and the Orthopedic Trauma Association. Visit orthoinfo.org/prescription safety.
In Game 4. 4.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL. Cuba City 34, Lancaster 26 at the half. A very fast Peterson Agency halftime report after these messages on AM 1590 WPVL.
In Game 5.
With love I will build a wonderful thing that makes this life better for you and for me.
Shriners Hospitals for Children has been creating wonderful opportunities for children in need. This life-changing medical care helps them do the things they've always dreamed of. To find out more, go to loveshriners.org.
You want to give your baby everything, so start with a safe sleep area. Babies younger than 1 should always be placed to sleep on their backs on a firm and flat surface like a safety-approved crib. And keep blankets, pillows, and other soft or loose items out of the crib when the baby is in it. Learn more about safe sleep for babies at safetoSleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
In Game 5.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Wolf Construction and Myers Heating and Cooling on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL. Time for the Peterson Agency halftime report presented by the Peterson Agency in Argyle. Brian Peterson specializes in home, farm, auto, and umbrella coverages. Cuba City leads Lancaster 34-26 at the half. Gavin Vossen with 15 points leading the Cubans. Miles Hinderman with 10. And then it's Hudson Keeler with 3, Henry Cruiser with 2, Andy Miller with 2, Trevor Venata with 2 points. And Lancaster led by Taylor Williams with 7 points. Tyler Timmerman also with 7 points. Connor Raisbeck 5. Lance Ryder with 3. Zach Hermson with 2. And Michael Murphy with 2. Cubans did not shoot a free throw in the first half. And the Arrows didn't shoot well in the first half. 2 for 7 from the foul line in the first 18 minutes. On the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Galena leads River Ridge 50-37, 11:42 left. That is on Extreme 107.1. River Ridge Scales Mound leads East Dubuque 21-18 at the half. Also, this should make people happy, although I don't think it's been announced. Cuba City leading Mineral Point 25-19 at the half. That's on Super Hits 106. And what was the other one we had here? 18-12. Highland leads Schulzberg at the half. That's on Extreme 107.1. Second half here in Cuba City with the Arrows moving right to left if you're watching on YouTube, and Hinterman driving underneath, and Vossen in the corner. And boy, those shoes on this end of the floor are really bright. Over at the right wing is Hinterman. And then maybe we'll ask Tanner Sheevy after the game where he got those shoes from. Over at the right wing, here's a pass inside and then back out, and Richard for 3 off the back of the rim. And the rebound grabbed by the other number 1, Zach Hermson. Largest lead for the Cubans in the first half, 9 points. Lancaster did have a 7-5 lead, and a lean-in shot does not go for Hermson, and Vossen races back the other way. Fakes the shot, takes the shot, makes the shot. A Midwest One Bank bank shot. You'll always score more with Simply Better Banking, Midwest One Bank member FDIC. 1 minute into the second half, and now their largest lead is 10 points, 36-26. And then now it's Raisbeck, top of the silo, over to the right wing. And Timmerman, he puts up a shot short. Battle for the rebound, and the Arrows get it back. Now at the left wing, Hermson up top for Timmerman. To the right wing, and Williams. And Williams passes to the corner. And then going inside and then back out. And the 3 from the corner does not go. Ball tipped out of bounds into the Cubans bench, and it'll go back to Cuba City with 16:24 left of the second half. Clear Bank with their 8 locations in Southwest Wisconsin proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Clear Lake, where they say we can do that. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. A steal by Murphy, and then a whistle. And the foul is on Vossen, the first of the second half. And Vossen's second foul. 8-1 was the foul count in the first half, but the team with the 8 fouls is team also the 8-point halftime lead. Now they lead by 10. Quick passing around the perimeter. And Hermsen now to Timmerman, and then underneath. And a foul under the Arrows basket with 16:10 left of the second half. That'll be the second. Or did the ball just get tipped out of bounds? And that was apparently the case. Here is the fallaway shot by Williams. Doesn't go. And the rebound is grabbed by Miller. And Miller to Venata. And Venata to Richard between the circles. And then he goes over to the left wing, shading, and then over the right wing off the hands of Hinterman, but he's able to pick it up before it hit the scorer's table. Hinterman at the right wing. He'll put it up for 3 from there. Bullseye! And Hinterman with 13, according to the scoreboard, and it's 39-26 with 15 and a half minutes left of the second half. Pass inside, and faking one way is Raisbeck, and then back out to Murphy at the right wing. He fakes, goes up top to Hermsen, and then the right wing 3 from Murphy, in and out. And the rebound grabbed by Miller. And this is Hinderman with it, passing out of Vossen in the corner, drives into the lane. Underneath, backdoor shot missed. Backside shot missed by Cruiser. Quickly back the other way. And here's the jumper, good just inside the arc for Hermsen. And it's 39-28 with 14:54 left in the second half. Vossen at the left wing. Passes to the corner and Cruiser. And now Cruiser going in on Raisbeck. Shoots over Raisbeck. Rolls it around and in. 41-28 Cubans with 14:36 left of the second half. Murphy, drive. No, that wasn't. That was Williams. He drives it and scores, and it's 41-30. Williams with 9. 14:22 left second half. Vossen across half court to the left wing. And then behind him picked up by Richard. And then over to the right wing and Hinderman directing traffic from there. Hinderman looking inside, picks up the screen from Miller, drives baseline and stepped on the baseline. Back to the Arrows with 14 minutes exactly left in the second half. Anderson, Weber, Toyota, and Dubuque powering our audio stream. Anderson, Weber, Toyota, and Dubuque when you are ready. Community First Bank, for you in the communities where you live, work, and play. Experience for yourself the difference of Community First Bank, cfbank.com, member FDIC. Hermsen crosses below the Cubans logo, or above if you're watching on YouTube. And at the right wing, Trevor Venata back in the game. Backing in, the turnaround shot, one-handed by Raisbeck and a miss. And Vossen comes up with a rebound, heads this direction. Venata, Cruiser in the corner. Lob over to Venata. Now Hinderman at the right wing. Hinderman looks, gets it to Vossen in front of the Cubans bench. Vossen looking over to the right wing or left wing now for Hinderman. Cruiser in the corner. And a drive inside, then a pass out to the side for Venata. Now Vossen with it. He'll back up near half court. And now drives into the lane, he does, but misses the shot. Murphy comes up with a rebound and will take it all the way in, but misses the shot. Volleyball rebound, and the Cubans come up with it. Vossen fires it down to Venata, and then Richard picks it up. Now Venata at the left wing. Goes to the foul line. Shovel into the corner for Hinderman. Hinderman passes over to the left wing. And a bounce pass to the left wing, and Vossen drives into the lane, gets 3 defenders. And now the corner 3 for Venata doesn't go. And the rebound to Raisbeck. And on the run, Hermsen stops to the right wing, then passes to the corner for Williams. And Williams passes underneath, laid up and in for Connor Raisbeck, and the assist to Williams. 12-18 left second half, 41-32. Cuba City by 9. Their halftime lead was 8. Banana at the right wing, right in front of Coach Tanner Sheevy, who, by the way, is wearing a pink tie tonight. Over at the foul line, down to the right wing, and to the corner for Boston. Tipped out of his hands and stolen by Murphy. Nice defensive play there, and back the other way, Hermsen. Hermsen to the foul line. He'll put up the jumper off the mark, and grabbing the rebound, Venata, and a whistle and a foul with 11:47 left in the second half. Held ball, excuse me. And it will stay with Lancaster. Myers Heating and Cooling, servicing Southwest Wisconsin since 1999. Myers Heating and Cooling, where they say, don't worry, we got this. And Brian's Auto Body and Paint Specialists in Lancaster. The pros at Brian's get the job done right for unexpected dings or major repair projects. Brian's Auto Body and Paint in Lancaster. Williams up top, puts up the jumper that is short, and the rebound grabbed by Hinderman with 11:33 left in the second half. Over at the left wing is Hudson Keeler, who's back in the ball game. Now Hinderman at the right wing. Hinderman to the foul line. Hinderman the jumper off the back of the rim, and the rebound grabbed by Raisbeck. And here comes Williams with it. Splits two defenders, lays it up and in. That was pretty. And it's 41-34. Cubans by 7 with 11:05 left in the second half. Hinderman to Venata. Venata will bounce past to Keeler and almost tipping it out of bounds. Actually forcing a turnover was Lance Ryder there. And so back to the Arrows it goes. They're down 7. They were down 10 at one point. And if they could get a couple more baskets, they can make this quite interesting with 10:48 left in the second half. Raisbeck, left elbow, goes to the foul line. Now Williams gets past the defender, but too hard on the shot. And the Cubans come up with a rebound. Hinderman will bring it up. Full court man defense by the Arrows. Over at the left wing, Keeler goes baseline. Cruiser puts it up and puts it in. And Henry Cruiser has 6, and it's 43-34. Quickly the other way. The shot by Ryder doesn't go. Rebound grabbed by Cruiser. And back the other way, Hinderman to the corner, and Keeler back out. And out driving is Cruiser. Power move, and puts it up but misses. And back the other way goes Timmerman. Goes all the way in. Misses the shot. Battle for the rebound will go back to the Arrows. Vossen back in. Also Andy Miller back in for Cuba City. Hermsen's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington. And Hermsen's Ace Hardware at the bottom of Maine in Platteville. See Hermsen's for the perfect paint for your next project. Hermsen's Ace Hardware at Bloomington and Platteville. We're also brought to you by Tim Slack Auction and Realty. Whether buying or selling, call Tim, Kathy, Chase, and their staff today. Tim Slack Auction and Realty, Lancaster, and Fenimore. Murphy left wing for the Arrows. Over at the right wing is Ryder. Now Murphy, and from the corner, the three in and out. And after the miss by Kaufman, back the other way, here's Keeler at the right wing to the corner, and Venata goes to the right wing from the corner. Richard with it. Richard looking over to the left wing, and Keeler. And then back to the right wing. And then back to Richard with it there. Passes inside. Vossen driving, puts it up. One-handed, doesn't get it. And the rebound by Timmerman, who brings it up with 9:07 left in the second half. Big three in the corner. And then Murphy at the left wing, he thinks about the three. And now driving Timmerman in the corner, and a foul called on the Cubans with 8:57 left in the second half. Second team foul. And also the second foul on Andy Miller. In the lane, a wrestling match for the ball. Held ball or a timeout. And I guess two of the officials are going to try to decide that very point. And while they discuss, we're brought to you by H&N Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical, serving you in Fenimore, Lancaster, and Boscoville. Always on call, always the right call. H&M Plumbing, Heating, Electrical, serving Southwest Wisconsin 24/7 since 1958. Cuba City calls the timeout. 8:54 left second half. 43-34 Cuba City over Lancaster. Back after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
In Game 6.
Does that number calling you look familiar, but you aren't sure if you know them? It could be a scam using spoofing. I'm Lancaster Police Chief Deborah Rukoff. Spoofing is a way scammers make it look like an area number, or even a number you know, is calling you. In reality, they could be hundreds or thousands of miles away. Scam calls are after one thing, your information. Prevent a crime before it happens. Keep your personal information private and hang up if you suspect it's a scam.
This public service announcement courtesy of Queen Bee Radio. In Game 6.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Wolf Construction and Myers Heating and Cooling and Myers Home Comfort Solutions on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. 8:54 left second half, 43-34. Cuba City leading Lancaster. We're brought to you by Mount City Bank. Their total line of credit allows you to use the equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop into Mount City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC to equal housing lender. Learn more at mountcitybank.com. Last score we had at the half was Cuba City leading Mineral Point 25-19. That's on Super Hits 106. Cubans are undefeated. Mineral Point has just one loss to Cuba City. And underneath, a foul on Lancaster, or Cuba City. Taking the charge was Lance Ryder. Gavin Vossen picks up his third foul. Believe it or not, Lancaster has one foul in the entire game with 8:35 left in the second half. The unfortunate thing is that doesn't help them in a case where they're looking to foul to force free throws. Meanwhile, a one-hander by Ryder is up and good. Zach Hermson gets the basket to make it 43-36. Well, we'll see how it pans out, obviously. Is Keeler at the left wing. Over to Veneta near half court. Now the pass inside to Vossen, back out. Richard fakes the three. Richard, by the way, wearing white shoes with pink highlights and shoelaces. Richard gets the pass back, puts it up for three, rims out. Ball bounces into the corner. Almost hits Jeff Guard. And it'll go back to Lancaster with 7:53 left in the second half. Great Regional Health Center's ortho team. Dr. Brad Binsfeld and Nate Stocco, PAC, provide exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Great Regional Health Center, experience the difference. Speaking of Lancaster, 7:50 left second half. 43-36, 7-point lead. Cubans have not scored in a while here, and a hard shot. Too hard for Raisback. Back the other way come the Cubans. Here's Richard at the left wing. As we near 7.5 minutes left in the second half. And Richard for three left wing. Doesn't get it. And Raisback there for the rebound. And bringing it up now, Hermson to the right wing. Hermson will take it all the way in, but too hard on the shot. Raisback on the rebound, puts it in. And it's 43-38. 5-point Cubans lead with 7:10 left in the second half. Richard at the right wing. Goes up top over to the left wing and Veneta. Now Richard again, right wing. Back along the arc over to the left wing. And pass from Veneta underneath, and Vossen lays it up and in, and that ends the run of no points for the Cubans. 45-38, back to 7 with 6:45 left in the second half. Cubans lead, Arrows basketball, and in the corner, a pass through the hands of Ryder and out of bounds with 6:37 left in the second half. Russell Law Offices is here to assist you as your local legal representation. Call for a consultation to discuss personal injury, estate planning, family law, criminal defense, probate administration, and more. Proudly serving Southern Wisconsin, Russell Law Offices. I do believe they do not charge for basketball talk. Over at the right wing, Hinderman, and a whistle, and that's a foul on Cuba. That's a foul on Cuba City. Away. No correction. That's a foul on Lancaster. Taylor Williams nowhere near the ball, but gets called for the foul, his first, and the first of the second half on the Arrows. just the second foul of the ball game, if my count was accurate. We'll reveal all of that after Janae Raish gets done with the stats during the Culver's cool down, which is in 6 minutes and 9 seconds in regulation at least. And then the one-hander laid up in the lane, good for Veneta. And it's 47-38 with 6 minutes left in the second half. Cubans now up by 9. And over at the left wing is Ryder. Pass over the right wing is Timmerman. Hit tipped out of his hand, stolen by Vossen as Timmerman hit the floor. And now over at the right wing, a three. Bullseye for Hinderman. And suddenly it's 50-38 and suddenly a timeout for Lancaster. 5:36 left in the second half. 50-38 Cuba City on AM 1590 WPBL.
In Game 7.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We stand on the shoulders of the women who came before us.
Women who were told they were bad with money.
Women who couldn't even get a credit card without a man co-signing.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn to lead the way.
Join us at WeSaySaveIt.org,
where women of all ages and all budgets are learning how to save for retirement.
You work hard.
You make money.
Now make that money work for you.
Invest in yourself at WeSaySaveIt.org.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
In Game 7.
5:36 left in the second half, and Lancaster called the timeout. They have 3 remaining, so does Cuba City. Just 3 fouls on the Cubans, but just 1 foul on Cuba City. Obviously, nobody's in foul trouble with 5.5 minutes left, but the Cubans are up 12 points. And Murphy to the right elbow. Behind him, picked up by Timmerman. Now over to the right wing. Williams with it. Into the corner it goes. Murphy fakes the 3. Hermsen at the right wing. Goes to the foul line. And then over at the right wing, picked up by Murphy. Bounce pass to the corner. Lob intended for Raisback and stolen. And Cruiser comes up with a steal. And now Hinderman with it. Drives the baseline. And then quickly movement along the arc. Driving Vossen from the left wing. He'll head the foul line with 4:55 left in the second half. Connor Raisbeck called for his second foul. And just the second on the arrows. Correction, that's his first foul. First free throw, no good for Vossen. He is a 57% foul shooter coming into tonight. We're brought to you by Claire Bank, where there are 8 locations in Southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say we can do that. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender. 1 of 2 free throws makes it 51-38. 4:53 left in the second half. Over at the right wing is Hermsen. Goes to the left side of the lane, puts up the high arc jumper and gets it. 51-40 with 4:40 left in the second half. Hermsen with 8. Over at the right wing is Veneta. Over at the left wing, Hermsen. One more time, wrong team. Hinderman. Hinderman now picks it up over at the right wing. Goes to up top. The pass over to the left wing, Veneta. Right wing, Hinderman. Picked up by Richard at the right wing. Richard now drives into the lane. The one-hander is short, and the rebound grab by Williams. And he races down to the corner, and the 3 pass doesn't go. Reverse that. It was the pass and then a corner 3. And after the miss, a foul on the rebound, or a held ball, and that will go to the Cubans with 4:07 left in the second half. Cubans will inbound the ball on the far side of their own basket. That will, of course, start the full court pressure, except that they beat it with Vossen on a bomb pass. Misses the shot, though, and the rebound grabbed by Raisbeck. Williams back the other way, and quickly inside, laid up and a miss, and the Cubans get the ball back. 3:50 left in the second half. 51-40 Cuba City. Richard over to the right wing and Veneta. Now Hinderman. If Hinderman has it tipped out of his hands, but he gets it back. Now Vossen at the right wing. Over to the left corner, and Veneta for three. Too hard, but the rebound by Vossen on the backside. He misses, gets it back, and now the left wing three for Richard doesn't go, and the rebound grabbed by Hermsen with 3:20 left in the second half. 51-40. Kaufman and Williams driving in the lane, puts it up, doesn't get the drop. And the rebound grabbed by the Cubans with 3:06 left. And brought up by Richard over to Vossen. And underneath laying it up and missing is Veneta. And the rebound grabbed by Raisbeck with 2:57 left of the second half. Back the other way. Williams taking it all the way in and hits the floor because he was fouled with 2:52 left in the second half. And Gavin Vossen now with 4 fouls. He's the first player with 4. And I don't think anybody else has more than 2. 2 free throws, meanwhile, for Williams. And if he can hit both of them, that would drop it to a single-digit margin, and the first free throw is off the mark. He will get one more. Claire Bank with their 8 locations in southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say, we can do that, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Just 14 fouls on Cuba City and just 2 on Lancaster. For a game that's been pretty physical and a lot of contact and a lot of running and all that, that is an unusual number of low fouls. Second free throw, no good. And the rebound grabbed by Richard, deflected into the corner and then deflected out of bounds. And Lancaster wants a timeout with 2:47 left in the second half. 51-40 Cuba City. Back after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
In game 8.
Women can have it all.
Ooh.
Including heart attacks. But symptoms like jaw pain, nausea, unusual fatigue, dizziness, and backache are often different and more subtle than for a man. The fact is, heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Know the signs. Learn more at getheartchecked.org. From Women's Heart Alliance, in partnership with Women Heart.
A few years ago, Steve Faircow's lungs were failing.
I don't think I had more than a couple weeks to live.
That's when Steve received a lung transplant made possible by an organ donor. Now Steve can do things he never imagined, like climbing 94 floors to the top of a skyscraper.
I never knew that breathing could feel this good. It's an incredible gift.
What could you make possible as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Leave behind the gift of life. Go to organdonor.gov, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
In game 8.
2:47 left in the second half. 51-40. Cuba City leads Lancaster. 2 timeouts left for the Arrows and 3 for the Cubans. Team fouls, and I know these numbers are accurate, 4 for Cuba City and 2 for Lancaster, but Gavin Vossen's got 4 fouls, and nobody else has more than 2. Full court pressure, and the ball finally inbounded to Hinderman. And Hinderman over to the left wing. And Veneta now with it, gets past a defender and then passes over where Richard picks it up. 2:34 left. Temerman fell down trying to steal the ball from Richard. And now Hinderman at the left wing. And I'll pass up top over to the left wing it goes for Veneta, and a foul with 2:20 left in the second half. And team foul number 3 on Lancaster will be the first foul on Dane Kaufman. Raisbeck out, Murphy in. Also Gavin Vossen in, and out goes Andy Miller. So they're going a little short here, it looks like. Cuba City is, and the inbounds pass into the backcourt where it's picked up by Veneta with 2:16 left. But at a near half court, pestered by Murphy, and then the ball tipped away from Richard by Timmerman. And it'll go back to the Cubans with 2:10 left in the second half. Score update, by the way, after 3 quarters. River Ridge Scales Mound leading East Dubuque 31-28. Vossen hits the floor hard. And a foul. And this is where one is reminded that there's no padding in basketball uniforms. Foul on Lance Ryder, his second. Each team now 4 team fouls, and Vossen will shoot a pair. And the first free throw is good, 52-40. Be an interesting, and I'm sure this has happened before, you know, if a team has never been in the bonus for an entire game. Cuba City wasn't in the bonus in the first half, and they would need 3 more Lancaster fouls to go into the bonus in the second half. Second free throw good, 53-40, and I tend to think if that happens, it's kind of just a sort of footnote to tonight, because there's no, when you're down 13, the foul strategy probably doesn't mean a whole lot. And here, meanwhile, the 3 for Ryder from the right wing doesn't go, and Cruiser on the rebound. Minute 56 left, 53-40 Cuba City. Big lob pass over to the right wing, and Hinderman now dribbling, goes over to the left wing, and then falls down. And a timeout called by the Cubans. They will keep it here with 102 seconds left. And a 53-40 Cuba City lead. Final score, meanwhile, Galena beats River Ridge 55-47. That was on Extreme 107.1. We will have, by the way, River Ridge, Scales Mound, and Galena. Huge game in the NUI West. That comes up Wednesday. We'll have that for you at 7 o'clock on Super Hits 106. Forgot to mention, by the way, the other basketball going on, well, perhaps because there isn't that much. Royals at Seneca in Ridge and Valley boys. NUI West girls, Warren at Durand, Stockton at Freeport, Aquin, Pearl City at West Carroll. In the SWC tonight, Platteville at Potosi, Cassville, Lancaster at Southwestern. We mentioned Cuba City at Mineral Point on Super Hits 106. Cubans were leading at the half 25-19. Also Fenimore, Benton, Belleville, Mineral Point. 6 Rivers West, Shullsburg at Highland. Highland was up at the half on 97.7 Country WGLR. Also Wazeeka Steuben at Belmont. 6 Rivers East, Cambria, Friesland at Albany, Monticello. South Beloit at Judah. Blackhawk at Madison, Abundant Life, St. Ambrose. And in the Ridge and Valley, Seneca at Wanawag Center. 1:37 left. Ball was tipped out of bounds. And now Richard will inbound. Cruiser takes a seat, and the foul called there also was on Murphy, his first whistle. And here's another foul. You know what? It does look like Cuba City will get in the bonus after all. That is the 6th team foul and the 2nd on Taylor Williams. So one more puts the Cubans to the line for the first time tonight. They have shot free throws, but they've never had a bonus, and now they have to call a timeout. And it's a full timeout with 1:37 left. 53-40 Cuba City. Back after this on AM 1590 WPVL.
In game 9.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
How do you give hope to a child in the foster care system? It starts with your heart. That tug you feel in yours when you hear that children are waiting for a stable, loving influence to speak up for their best interests. And then it becomes your time. What started out as a feeling that maybe you could make a difference becomes the difference. Change a child's story. There is a child waiting for a volunteer like you.
Learn how you can help at nationalcasagal.org.
In game 9.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Wolf Construction and Myers Heating and Cooling and Myers Home Comfort Solutions on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. 1:37 left. Cubans call the timeout. They're down to 1. Lancaster with 2, and guess what? It's bonus time for the Cubans. With 1:36 left, Lance Ryder called for his 3rd foul. And as Henry Cruiser back in, Banana will shoot the 1-and-1 final score on the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox and Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Highland beats Schulzburg by a touchdown tonight, 42-35. And that was on 97.7 Country WGLR. Free throw is no good. Rebound grabbed by Hermsen. Left wing 3 for Williams. Off the mark and over the top. And it went in, but it's not going to count because it hit the top of the backboard. That is a turnover with 1:27 left. Also, as mentioned, Galena over River Ridge tonight, 55-47, and that was on Extreme 107.1. Cubans will get the ball, 1:27 left until the Culver's cool down. We hope to have Tanner Sheeby on after the game. Ball tipped away from Venata and off the scorer's table. It will go back to the Cubans, and that took 6 seconds. Cuba City, by the way, will host Fenimore Friday, which we'll have for you on Super Hits 106. And tomorrow, the Arrows don't have a whole lot of time to commiserate over this because they will host Southwestern tomorrow night. Foul call with 1:20 left. Tyler Timmerman called for his first. And 8 team fouls. It would be kind of ironic, I suppose, if Cuba City ended up in the super bonus when they were only in the bonus in the last 2 minutes of the game. First free throw for Venata is no good, but the rebound ends up in Richard's hands. And so the Cubans, and he goes down, does Richard. And the foul called with 1:12 left. And Lance Ryder now has 4 fouls. Henry Cruiser back in. And Richard came into the game shooting 82% from the foul line, which makes his mom, Amy Trannell, happy, certainly. Although there's a little bit of irony about that because the one thing that the 93 Cubans, which won state, dominated everybody, but one thing they did not do very well was shoot free throws. And I remember mentioning that to Jeff Pastina, the Cubans coach, after the season was over, and he's like, well, yeah, we'll have to work on that. After winning his 3rd state title in 4 years. Both free throws good, 55-40. Cuba City in front with 1:11 left. Over at the left wing. And the 3 from the corner for Timmerman doesn't go. And the rebound grabbed and a reset. And over at the right wing, here is a 3. That doesn't go. And but tipped in. And Tyler Timmerman gets the basket. And one more timeout called. 53.9 seconds left. 55-42. Cuba City back after this on AM 1590 WPBL.
In game 10.
Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Visit managerbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
A fraction of a raindrop. 3 grains of salt. At up to 100 times more potent than morphine, the tiniest amount of illegal fentanyl is all it takes to cause an overdose. Fentanyl can be mixed into heroin, cocaine, pressed pills, meth, and other drugs. It could be in your drugs, and you wouldn't be able to see it, taste it, or smell it. Learn more at cdc.gov/stop overdose.
In game 10.
49 seconds left, 55-42 Cuba City. And maximum pressure being put on by the Arrows. But now it gets open and laying it up and in is Vossen. A Midwest One bank shot. You'll always score more with Simply Better Banking. Midwest One Bank, member FDIC. 24 for Vossen, and the 3 from the left wing doesn't go. And for Ryder, and the ball goes out of bounds with 28.5 seconds left, and actually a foul, I believe. And it's on Vossen. Or no, it's not. It's on Ryder. And Hudson Keeler will shoot 2. And that's his first free throw that he has made this season. On the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox in Black Earth, largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. River and Scales Mountain leading East Dubuque 36-32 inside 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. We'll get you scores on the Shoebox scoreboard afterwards. Second free throw is no good. Williams comes up with a rebound. 58-42, 25 seconds left. And a right wing 3 that does not go. And the rebound bounces off the rim. And a foul with 16.4 seconds left. I hope nobody calls a timeout because I think I'm out of breaks. And the foul, on Kaufman, his second. One more time. Williams, his third. And so it'll be 2 free throws for Richard. And Richard's first free throw is good, 59-42. Also, as we said, Highland beats Shullsburg tonight, 42-35 on 97.7 Country WGLR. Galena beat River Ridge tonight, 55-47 on Extreme 107.1. And at the half, it was 25-19, Cuba City leading Mineral Point on Super Hits 106. Second free throw good, 60-42, 16 seconds left. And brought up by Ryder. And the 3 for Timmerman right wing, that doesn't go. Battle for the rebound. Body's on the floor. Body's still on the floor. The ball goes out of bounds with 4.1 seconds left. And the ball will be inbounded far side from our perspective of the Cuba City Lancaster basket. And out it goes, and the right wing 3 bounces up and misses, and that's it. Cuba City beats Lancaster 60-42. And the Cubans are now 7-9. And Lancaster drops to 8-9. And again, Lancaster hosts Southwestern tomorrow night. And Cuba City will host Fenimore Friday night, which we will have for you on Super Hits 106. 60-42, Cuba City, the win over Lancaster. Culver's Cool Down postgame show presented by Culver's in Dubuque, Galena, and Platteville. After these messages on AM 1590 WPBL.
Postgame 3 minutes.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Maybe you're not sure how you'll make rent, or you lost your job. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light. Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need.
211, how can I help you?
Call or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected. Get help. A message from United Way and the Ad Council.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift of time or treasure, supporting a community through talent without measure. Here, compassion fuels commitment, finding fulfillment through enrichment, serving and improving. What a way to live, and what a gift it is to give. Find your why and get involved today at ymca.org for a better us.
Officers take an oath to serve and protect the community, but we need your help too in keeping friends and families safe. I'm Lancaster Police Chief Deb Rukoff. Scam phone calls can hit at any time, and scammers are always developing new schemes. That's why law enforcement agencies remind you to be alert for these types of calls. Prevent a crime by keeping your personal information private and hanging up on scammers. Also, if you've been a victim of a scam call, contact your local authorities.
This public service announcement courtesy of Queen Bee Radio.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and solve problems, turning great ideas into reality. Take action with us. Find out more at Rotary.org/action.
Mama, what does the chicken say? Dog. Cat. Giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/
the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's.
The Parkinson's Foundation knows that the disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them.
If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers
We can help you understand the disease
and give you tips for living a better life.
Find your answers at Parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Craig Culver of Culver's.
Times have changed since Mom first created Culver's Double Butter Burger Deluxe, but one thing sure hasn't.
Craig, what would you like to share for show and tell?
This is a butter burger. Fresh beef, never frozen, seared to perfection, topped with real Wisconsin cheese on a lightly buttered bun.
Butter burger, butter burger, butter. Hungry? Stop in for one today.
It's time for the Culver's Cool Down Postgame Show, brought to you by Culver's in Dubuque, Galena, and Platteville.
Gray Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio, AM 1590 WPVL, and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. And we have a big score here on as we get going on the Culver's cool down. There was one detail that wasn't mentioned over the PA. Cuba City beats Mineral Point in overtime 69-61. And so the Cubans with the win, the girls win, that puts them at 10-0 and 14-4 overall and drops Mineral Point to 7-2. They end up dropping to a second place tie tonight. Darlington didn't play, so Cubans with a two-game lead now with 4 games left in the season. So that's a big, big win for the Cuba City girls, obviously. And in other scores on the Shoebox scoreboard, presented by the Shoebox and Black Earth, largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Highland again over Schulzberg 42-35. That was on 97.7 Country WGLR. Galena over River Ridge 55-47. That was on Extreme 107.1. And River Ridge Scales Mound over East Dubuque 36-32. 2:58 left. And here it was Cuba City with a 60-42 win over Lancaster on guarding against Cancer Night. Cubans led by Gavin Vossen with 24 points tonight, and Miles Hinderman with 16 tonight. Also Henry Cruiser with 6, Hudson Keeler with 5 off the bench, Trevor Vidata with 4, Tyson Richard with 4, Andy Miller with 3 points in the basketball game. The Arrows led by Taylor Williams, who matched his number, 11 points. And then Tyler Timmerman with 9. Connor Raisbeck with 9. Zach Hermson with 8. Lance Ryder with 3. And Michael Murphy with 2 points. The Arrows were just 2 of 9 for the foul line, whereas Cuba City did not shoot a free throw in the first half. In the second half, they were 8 of 11. All of those stats provided to you by our crack statistician and transportation coordinator, Janan Raich. 60-42, the Cubans win the non-conference game. And again, we'll be back here Friday when Cuba City hosts Fenimore. That'll be on Super Hits 106. And we have players. Well, we're certainly willing to do that, particularly somebody who has what appears to us to be a career night. Welcome to the broadcast, Gavin Vossen and Miles Hinderman. So you have to look here because you're supposed to be wearing number 4, but you're wearing number 10. Yeah. You're okay because your number is right. So congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, the weirdest thing about it to me was the relative lack of fouls, considering the bodies that were flying all over the place and bouncing off the floor and all that.
Fouls all night.
But how did you feel like your team played?
I feel like we came into the game knowing we got to play good defense, and we struggled at the beginning of the year playing defense, and we really buckled down in practice and worked on our defense. And they shot, I think, 0 for 11 from the three-pointer, so we shut them out in the second half. They only scored 14 points.
Yeah, they shot poorly from the foul line also, and hardly shot any in the second half. So, Miles, let's talk a little bit about your role. You kind of seem to be one of the main ball handlers, obviously. Lancaster wanted to put some pressure on you guys. What's that like?
Yeah, it's just Coach Cheevy's always telling us we got to take care of the ball, and we did that tonight, and that helped us get to the free throw line and knock down those.
All right. The other thing, of course, that was big tonight, obviously, the Guarding Against Cancer thing. And even though some of the people who would have been here were up in Mineral Point because of that scheduling, it still makes the game feel bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is big, and this is always an important night for Cuba City. And, we're just glad we get the win tonight.
All right. What do you guys feel like you need to do the rest of the season at this point? Because you're 4-5 in the conference. You got Fenimore. You'll be favored in the game Friday at any rate.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you guys got to do?
We had a tough conference this year. Mineral Point, Darlington, they're pretty tough, but right now we just got to buckle down and focus on game to game. The next one's our one we're looking for. So.
All right. Well, I forgot one more question. Where'd you get those shoes?
I got them online. They're pretty bright.
I was going to say, do they like keep you up at night?
Yeah, my dad travels, so I use them so he can find me on the court.
All right. Congratulations on the
Thank
win,
you.
guys. Gavin Vossen, Miles Hinderman for the Cubans who win tonight 60-42. Now you can hand the microphone to your coach. All right. Tanner Sheeby comes over. Congratulations on the win. First question is, when you saw those shoes, did you have to wear sunglasses or did you have to run to an eye place after that?
Actually, it's a funny story. My coaching career, I've always had a rule on shoes. They have to be the team color.
Mm-hmm.
But my reward was if guys show up in the summer, because it's really hard to get guys to show up and work in the summer. My rule was if guys show up in the summer, I'll let them wear whatever they want on the court. And all of a sudden, when I got in June, we started our summer stuff, and not one guy of our top 8s ever missed anything all summer. So it was really cool that they got after it from the day that I got there. And so then I said, fine, you can wear whatever ugly colored shoes that you want.
Well, I can tell you this much. When you're on the stage and your team is on the other end of the floor, it's easier to see them than sometimes the numbers. Like, okay, pink shoes. That is kind of a weird trend, though, because I've seen a lot of pink. I've seen some orange. The funnier one maybe, I suppose, was East Dubuque last year. There was a kid who wore one red shoe and one blue shoe. Those are the team colors, so. But that's a little weird trend. But let's talk about tonight. What did you feel like you guys did especially well today?
So all year, we have said the numbers 50, 40, 29. And that's our goal going into every game. We would give up less than 50 points. The team shoots less than 40% from 2, and they shoot less than 29% from 3. And I've been on them all year about this, and as you and I talked before the game, we talked about how we're getting better and we're improving. Tonight was the first night all season where we held them to under 50, 40, 29.
Well, there you go.
Defensively, our guys came out and played. We averaged 60 points a game, and that's our goal. We feel is we can get 60 every night, and we can hold teams to or under 50. Then we're going to be very successful. And tonight we did that.
All right. The other thing, of course, that was great about tonight was Guarding Against Cancer. Don't know the money raised, but I'm sure it was a good number because it always is for this. we talked to Jeff Gard at the half, and you had mentioned before that this kind of is a demonstration of really the best basketball in the state is in places like Cuba City, isn't it?
Yes.
With nights like this.
Absolutely. And you know, the culture that has been created here and in Southwest Wisconsin of high school sports, not just basketball, but I went to the football games, I went to the volleyball games in the fall, and it's just packed. Every night we go, it's packed. And so it's really cool to have experiences like this where, again, like I said earlier, it's bigger than just basketball to these kids. And you always talk about, and these guys do a really good job of this, you know, they're representing our school district and they're representing our community. And nights like this, I think they handled themselves really well and they represented Cuba City really well. And the community is helping out for a great cause. And it's just fun to be a part of all this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so fun. In fact, we'll come back Friday.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So congratulations on the win, and we'll see you guys Friday.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Tanner Stevie, the Cuba City coach. Cubans win tonight over Lancaster 60-42. And one other score, oh, wow, on the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox and Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. River Ridge Scales Mountain hangs on to beat East Dubuque 45-43. And again, it'll be River Ridge Scales Mountain and Galena coming up Wednesday on Super Hits 106. We'll tell you about that when we conclude the Culver's Cool Down and our broadcast on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL.
Post-game, 2 minutes.
Did you know that when you make time to talk, read, or sing with your child, you're helping to shape and strengthen their brains for the years to come? As a father, helping my child thrive is the most important thing to me. Each of us has the power to create a strong start for our children and to help them enter school ready to learn and succeed in life, starting from the day they are born. Visit talkingisteaching.org for free tips, resources, and ideas on how to transform everyday moments into magical moments for learning.
This is Norm.
Hi?
He lives with anxiety, but with the help of the new Normal Maker, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With just a swipe of your finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo.
How did you do?
Or normal.
How's this?
The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with a mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Talk to someone you trust. Learn more at bringchangetamind.org.
Paralyzed Veterans of America believes the veterans who've served and sacrificed deserve access to the best our country has to offer. Access to homes, communities, meaningful employment, and the veterans' benefits they've earned. With PVA staff working inside VA hospitals, no other veterans organization has provided more real-time ongoing support for paralyzed veterans and their families. Our nation's heroes fought for your independence. Join PVA in fighting for theirs at pva.org.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Post-game, 2 minutes.
Grand Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL. Cuba City beats Lancaster tonight in boys basketball 60-42. Also on the Shoebox scoreboard presented by the Shoebox and Black Earth, largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Cuba City also wins over Mineral Point 69-61 in overtime. Cubans now in first and now by 2 games in the SWAL in girls basketball. Also tonight, River Ridge Scales Mountain hangs on to beat East Dubuque 45-43. Highland beats Schulzburg tonight 42-35. That was on 97.7 Country WGLR. Galena beats River Ridge 55-47, and that was on Extreme 107.1. And we still have to tell you the Tricor Turning Point presented by Tricor Insurance. Insurance plans built for you, your family, and your business. Contact Tricor Insurance today. And what are we going to call it here? Okay, I think we will call it the, well, no, it wasn't that. Okay, we're going to call it the first, or actually probably about the stretch between the 13-minute mark and the 9-minute mark of the first half. It was 11-8 with 13:48 left in the first half, and then the Cubans opened up a 9-point lead with 9:05 left in the first half. That was after a Hudson Keeler three-pointer. That made it 23-14. And as I see it here, the Arrows never got closer than 5 points, actually, or never got closer than 4 points the rest of the way. It was 27-23 with 3:46 left in the first half. But then 7 points over 3, and that made it 8 at the half. And then, so it's that stretch between the 13-minute mark and the 9-minute mark. That is our Tricor Turning Point presented by Tricor Insurance. Insurance plans built for you, your family, your business. Contact Tricor Insurance today. We have more basketball coming up tomorrow on the Queen Bee family of radio stations. Benton and Highland in boys basketball, 7 o'clock start on Extreme 107.1 and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. And boys basketball, Shullsburg at River Ridge, 7 o'clock on 97.7 Country WGLR and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. Wednesday, girls basketball, River Ridge Scales Mount at Galena, 7 o'clock on Super Hits 106. Thursday, boys basketball, Scales Mount at Galena, 5:40 on Super Hits 106. Badger basketball at Nebraska, 6:30 on AM 1590 WPVL. Girls basketball, Dodgeville at Platteville for the SWC lead, or half of it, 7 o'clock on Extreme 107.1. And girls basketball, Shullsburg at River Ridge at 7 on 97.7 Country WGLR and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. And one more Friday, boys basketball, Mineral Point at Darlington. One loss between the two of them. 7 o'clock on 97.7 Country WGLR. Also boys basketball, Fenimore, Cuba City, 7 o'clock on Super Hits 106 and the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube channel. The sports directors of Queen Bee Radio are Mark Evenstein and R.J. Osterhaus. Tyler DeTanis is our digital program director. Johnny Page is our chief engineer. Thanks to Kerry Lawson and the staff at Cuba City High School. Thanks to our sponsors who help us bring this game to you, and thank you for joining us. Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school basketball presented by Myers Heating and Cooling, Myers Home Comfort Solutions, and Wolf Construction is a Queen Bee Radio sports presentation on ESPN Radio AM 1590 WPVL Platteville. Cuba City beats Lancaster in boys basketball 60-42 thanks to our statistician Jadain Raish. And from the Wolf Construction broadcast table, I'm Steve Prestegard. ESPN Radio is next, and we'll see you for more basketball tomorrow.